The St. Lawrence River Institute is gearing up for the Eastern Ontario Children's Water Festival, and joining me now to speak about this event is Lexi. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for being here, and it's great to learn about this wonderful event that does have a history in the area as well. So let's start with that and a little bit of background and history behind the Water Festival.
Yeah, so we've been hosting the Water Festival for quite a few years now. I'm honestly not sure how many, but the River Institute is the host of specifically the Eastern Ontario Children's Water Festival, but there is all kinds of water festivals across Ontario. I'm actually part of the Children's Water Education Council meets to talk about all the different water festivals across Ontario. So there's some in Peterborough and Haliburton, and we specifically do the Eastern Ontario region, so kind of catchment. Normally we do one in Cornwall, one in Castleman, and one in Spencerville, and we get kids from all over the area to come out and participate in some water education activities.
Oh, that's excellent. And talk to me a little bit about what the kids get from it, what you're hoping they get from it, and sort of the main purpose of what you're trying to impart on that future generation in terms of water and the work that you do.
Yeah, for sure. So future generation is really the key word that we always like to talk about when it comes to education, right? The kids are the ones who are going to be carrying on this legacy, and we really like to make sure that they're educated and passionate about topics when it comes to the environment, and especially water quality and water conservation. So that's kind of the main agenda, is to just get the kids to learn in a really fun way about all the different aspects of water and why it's important and why they should protect it. So that's kind of the goal. We usually aim for kids in grades 3, 4, and 5 to come out to the festival.
Oh, that's wonderful. And this is normally an in-person event. Through COVID, it's sort of pivoted to a virtual format, and this year will be a bit of a hybrid. So talk to me about how this year is going to work, and maybe we could start with the return of an in-person event on a slightly smaller scale.
Yeah, so normally we have about 250 students come out per day, and we host 2 days at each of our 3 locations that we do. This year we're going to just be doing 1 day as a trial run to get back to those in-person events that we're so looking forward to, and we're having about 60 students from Bishop Macdonell come out and participate in our in-person festival this year, which we're super excited for. And then that's on May 19th at the River Institute, and then the week before, May 12th is the English live stream, and May 13th is the French live stream, and we're still open for registrations for that, so any teachers in Eastern Ontario can register either for our English or our French festival on our Water Festival website.
Excellent. So talk to me a little bit about how it proceeds. What can people expect if they log on to that virtual experience?
Yeah, so the first thing in the morning, we're kicking off the day with a live Kahoot. And any student who participates in that live Kahoot is actually entered into draw to win an eco-adventure pack, so a backpack filled with lots of adventure goodies. And then we'll get into some stations presented by myself and other scientists from the River Institute, and that's kind of our morning. And then we'll take a little break in the morning and have our mid-morning presentations from our guest presenters, so people like OPG, the Water Rangers, those sorts of people who normally come out to our in-person festival. We like to have them also at our virtual festival. And then a lunch break. When we come back, we'll kick off the afternoon again with a second Kahoot, and same thing, if you're only able to make the morning or afternoon presentations, any people who participate in that afternoon Kahoot are also entered for the draw. And then the afternoon presentations are by our high school volunteers. So typically our stations at the in-person festival are all run by high school volunteers. This year they're all from Holy Trinity, and so we have a few pre-recorded videos that we're going to be sharing from our high school volunteers for our stations in the afternoon. And also any teachers who register to participate in either of the online water festivals are going to be entered into a draw to win a full-size Water Rangers testing kit, which is really exciting. We love partnering with Water Rangers for stuff like that.
Oh, excellent. And speaking of kits, there is activity kits that have been made up as well as part of this experience. Talk to me about those.
Yeah, so any teacher who participates in our virtual water festival, typically we say the first 50. We haven't had 50 registrants yet, so I'm hoping everybody who registers will get one. It's a little kit with about 5 stations worth of supplies for teachers to participate in some of our stations in the classroom. They won't be participating along live with the live stream. They're different stations that are presented in our live stream and in the kits, but it's just something either as an introduction or a summary for the teachers to kind of follow along with Water Festival in the classroom with the kids, so they actually get to do some hands-on stuff even though they won't get to be at the in-person festival.
Oh, that's excellent. And certainly, again, the virtual helps a little bit with this. But this event, as you mentioned, is Eastern Ontario. It has a very big reach that it does reach even in years when it wasn't virtual. So talk to me a little bit about that and how this is really showcasing Cornwall, but to the rest of Eastern Ontario as well.
For sure. So yeah, normally we do our 3 locations, like I said. So Spencerville, Castleman, and Cornwall have typically been our 3 locations in the past. And we go up, I think, as far as Renfrew for some of our catchment area that way, and out east or out west to like the Gananoque area is typically where we'd see students come to attend the in-person festival. We do get a little bit more wiggle room with the registrations for the virtual because obviously there aren't venue capacity limits, so we end up with more students being able to attend our online festival. And last year we actually ended up having a school from Toronto participate, so that was really great too.
Oh, that's amazing. And let's just finish off maybe with the response that you get. Obviously, in a virtual format, sometimes it's hard to gauge, but you've done at least one in person as well. But just talk to me about the response you get from the kids. I'm sure they're very excited to learn all of this stuff.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot more fun for me to get to see all of the kiddos' persons in person whenever they attend at the River Institute. But the really fun thing about our virtual festival is that we tend to have the kids, depending on the teacher's preference, pop onto our chat room. So we live stream through YouTube. And last year we would kind of prompt all the kids with an emoji and say, you know, if you're excited about water, put this emoji in the chat. And seeing all the kids talking about their favorite water facts or their favorite things that they learned in the stations and commenting all those emojis is really fun for us behind the scenes. So even though we don't get that one-on-one interaction with the kids, it's still really fun to see how excited they are about the water festival.
Absolutely. And so just to finish off, I think you've mentioned it throughout the interview, but remind everybody when this is taking place and how they can get involved.
Yeah, so our registration for the in-person festival is all full already, but that is on May 19th at the River Institute. The English festival is on May 12th. And the French Festival is on May 13th, and registration is still open. You can check it out at our website, waterfestival.riverinstitute.ca, and I'm excited to see everybody there.
Excellent. Certainly looking forward to it. What a great initiative to teach that younger generation the importance of water and how they can be good stewards in the future. So thank you once again for joining us, and best of luck with this year's festival.
Thanks, Gabe. Thanks for having me.